Do you have control of your calendar, or does your calendar have control of you? I have been there. I was so overwhelmed. I had way too much to do. I was trying to fit everything in instead of being in control of my calendar. So, how did that change? I met a wonderful person who helped me figure out how to take control of my calendar. And I would love to show you the same thing because it literally saved my sanity. Okay, so I'm going to hide myself there. All right, so this is, there we go. I think we're good. Okay, I think we're good now. All right, so this is a calendar that I did just to kind of show you. This is the all filled out version. And this is, let me see if I can move this so that I can, here we go. Okay. So I basically took, next week, I took out all of my general appointments so that I could show you kind of how I've designated my week. So you'll notice I have me time, 7:30 a.m. I have my getting ready time between 8 and 9. And then you'll start seeing some color coding. So every Monday, I have a meeting at 9 a.m. I'm fully aware it's online, so I don't have to put in time for travel or anything like that. I also decided that on Mondays, I really wanted to spend doing office work, and I call it admin day. And I have designated activities that are considered admin day. So that could be marketing, could be blogging, it could be scheduling out posts for social media, it could be doing my receipts, it could be anything that has to do with administrative tasks, or what I like to call getting the shit done, okay? Then you'll see client activities, okay? My goal is to have 3 days a week of client activities, but I know that at least 1 day a week I have some sort of polka dot powerhouse activity going on. So what do I have to do? I create flex days, flex times, okay? Because client activities are what I consider anything that has to do with a client. So working with a client, because I do photography, so that could be editing, that could be designing an album, that could be photographing, that could be, oh my goodness, so many different things. I've made a list of what I consider to be a client activity. Then in here, I put in flex time. Flex time could continue to be a client activity. It could be networking. It could be marketing. It could be polka dot powerhouse, something I need to do, whatever, okay? So client activity again. Then I personally, because I want to make sure that I'm prepared for our lunch meeting on Thursday, I'm going to spend a couple of hours on Wednesday to prepare for my meeting, get my agenda done, get our folders prepped, etc. Name badges, the whole 9 yards. Then that morning, I'm not rushing around because it's a lunch meeting and I need to make sure that I'm there early, and I just don't want to rush. So I try to get as much done as I can the day before. Since I'm already going to be in this networking sort of frame of mind, I'm going to allow myself time after the meeting to connect with anyone who would like to go grab a cup of coffee or even just sit around and chit chat. I'm going to allow myself that extra time. Okay, so I'm going to plan it in there. Now, every Friday, I've decided that I would like to devote an hour to educating myself about something business related. So that could be reading a book, that could be reading some articles, that could be watching a webinar, whatever it is. I'm deciding that that's what I want to do. Now, there are once a month on a Friday, I have a mastermind. And so I cannot do education on a Friday morning during that time. So I have to swap. okay? And I'm going to show you what that looks like. Now, I put on here, because of that reason, I put in a flex day. And what that means is that I can use this day to do client activities, or I could use it for connecting. I could use it for marketing. I could use it for it just kind of gives me some flexibility if something were to come up. Like, let's say, for example, that something happened and I could not spend this day on client activities. Something happened, my daughter needed me, there was an emergency, something like that. I have a day now where I can still devote that time, okay? So I'm going to show you kind of what my calendar looked like when I put in appointments, okay? So we had a open house at Polka Dot Powerhouse on Monday. I could not do my admin day that day. There was too much going on. Couldn't do it. So what did I do? I moved admin day to Tuesday. Okay. And then I had a client activity here. I had another polka dot thing here, gave myself some travel time, moved my education because the mastermind is on Friday morning. I moved education to Wednesday morning. I had a coffee date with a potential client, working on presentation. So I kind of have client activity here, but then I kind of filled in some things, right? On Thursday is client activity. So I have a brainstorming session, which is a client activity. And then I have, you'll see here, a Rotary presentation, which is not really anything. It is not a client activity. It is not administrative. So this is one of those things that you're going to have that is going to be thrown into your monkey wrench, and you have to figure it out. And you just do it. Then I gave myself time after the meeting if someone wanted to go grab coffee. I'm already going to be out. It's a great opportunity to already do things while I'm in the area. Then we have our first Friday mastermind, and you'll notice I gave myself flex time here. And I have a client that's going to be doing some brainstorming, and I scheduled a massage for the afternoon because I wanted some more me time. So this flex time I can use however I want to. So since I was kind of having to cut out some client activity over here and a little bit over here, I'm able to add some of that client time into this flex time, if that makes any sense. So the great thing about using technology like a Google Calendar is that you can put in recurring. So you'll see our open house was a one-time event, okay? But I know that the leadership meeting is the same time every month. So I was able to adjust it so that every first Tuesday, it's automatically on my calendar. Okay, so that allows me to not only color code things, but I can invite people to this. It just gives me that opportunity that I don't have to go in there and add it every single time, like I would have to do if it was a paper issue. So there are going to be some occasions for myself personally where I'm going to need to move things around because that's just the way the cookie is going to crumble. You know, it could go from this to looking like chaos, but as long as I have put up my boundaries and I know where I'm supposed to be, what I'm supposed to be doing, right? That's what's important, that I have an admin day, that I have education, and that I'm trying to do at least three days a week full of client activities, okay? So this is another week, and I scheduled a whole thing of headshots on a Friday, which is not on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. Okay, so I've basically switched. Okay, so it's time trading essentially. So client activities, and then I wanted to give myself opportunities to connect with people after I am finished with my client days. So I hope this kind of gives you a little bit of an idea of how you can make your calendar work for you and not against you. Once you can spend the time to figure out where you are spending your time, how much time you're spending, and trying to juggle everything that you have to do in your calendar. Remember, we all get the same 24 hours a day. How do you want to spend your hours? How do you want to spend it? Because you have a choice. We do. Overwhelming, being overwhelmed, feeling overwhelmed is a choice. I know that's not something you want to hear, but trust me when I tell you that it's true. Being overwhelmed is a choice. You have the opportunity to take your life back, to take your calendar back, and be in control of it. So what I encourage you to do, if your calendar is already crazy busy, okay, so I want you to print out your calendar, like if you have it on a Google or whatever, I want you to go in and start filling in the blanks. Where do you have time lapse? And assign yourself some tasks to do that have to do with how can you generate more income, or how can you spend more time with your kids, or how can you have a date night with your partner, or how, you know, figuring out, assigning that time so that you don't schedule anything in there that doesn't belong, okay? Then once you get to a point in your calendar, for me, it took like almost a month and a half before I felt like I could establish days and that I could really start to take control of my calendar. Was I just had to look at my days and say, okay, well, because I do boudoir photography, my hair and makeup girl doesn't work on Mondays. So why would I try to do a photo shoot on a Monday, right? So great, I'll do that as an admin day. And Fridays are kind of hard, you know, I really want to make sure that I'm devoting, you know, it just became a conversation with myself saying, when am I most doing these things anyways? And just figuring that out. Giving yourself, if you are a business owner, giving yourself time to network is super duper important. So going through your networking, you know, go find all of the meetings, chambers of commerces or BNIs or polka dot powerhouses or green drinks or whatever you have in your community, and put them on your calendar if you plan to attend. And even so, the good thing is, even if you put it on your calendar and you wind up not going, now you have some extra time that you can do networking one-on-one, or you kind of have it as an emergency, I need some extra time in order to get this project done, or something like that. So be in control of your calendar. And I know sometimes it's not easy, and I'm not saying that it is going to ever be, but if you put it in, if you can color code it and chart it and everything, it makes you feel like you know where you need to be every day, what you need to be doing, and you're going to feel like you have more control over it, which will help you reduce the overwhelm. Remember, it's a choice. So I hope this was helpful to you in some way. You know, take your paper calendar if you are a paper calendar person, and, you know, get the calendars that have the time slots on there and just block it out. Highlight it, whatever, bullet journaling, whatever works for you. What works for you may not work for me, and vice versa. All I'm saying is take control of your calendar, whichever one you use. And I hope you have a wonderful day.